Attention, Trevor. Sir, my name is Sean, and this is in regards to our telephone conversation regarding Evan Donaldson, the ABC, and Ben Robert Smith, Afghanistan, and alleged war crimes. I will explain the significance of this and how I have figured it out. A chain of events over nearly 10 years that are all connected, not just by coincidence. I am a former Australian soldier. I will explain the sequence of events in due order so you will understand everything. 1. 2013. About August, I had traveled to Walkerville in Victoria to help Dane Simmons with the lambing season on a farm where he was the manager. I did not personally know Dane, only that we had both served in 3RAR. One afternoon, after working with the lambs in the shed, we had stopped for a break, rest, coffee. Dane starts talking. So when I was in Iraq on an OP overlooking the crowded streets of Baghdad, I noticed a boy and girl with a heavy-laden donkey at an intersection. Every time the donkey knelt down on its knees, the boy would be hitting the donkey with a stick so it would get up. So fuck it, I dropped him. Then I said to my number 2, "Come on, we are bugging out." What the fuck? Nadia, Dustin, and me just looked at each other. Dane had just admitted to murder. The conversation changes, coffee, and back to work. Later that evening after dinner, Dane opens his laptop and opens a specific file. There are multiple photos of dead bodies, men, women, and perhaps children. I can only recall the first photo of an Iraq man shot in the head. Very graphic. These photos would have been taken on a cell phone. In earlier conversation, Dane had stated that he did not care who he killed, men, women, or children. I abruptly left the farm a few days later. Over the past years, I had informed several ex-military friends, the AFP, military, and civilian police. Dane would have been a private military contractor at the time of Donkey incident. A few weeks ago, I contacted Jeremy Richards from the Walkerville winery. It was the farm from 2013. Jeremy Richards is the farm owner. Dane was employed as the manager. I asked Jeremy if there was any witness that heard the same story from Dane regarding the boy and the donkey. Jeremy said that he was horrified, troubled after I also been told this story by Dane several years ago. Jeremy was going to try to find 2 other workers that had also heard this story. Jeremy mentioned that in early 2014, the day after Dane left the property, the Victorian Special Operations Police came to look for Dane. It was in regards to some weapons that Dane had failed to declare when he returned from Iraq working as a contractor. This is currently an AFP investigation. I was never in the SASR. I have not met and have no connection to Ben Robert Smith. 3. About October 2015, I was living on a bush property near Jimna, Kueld. On an ex-3RAR Facebook page, someone started asking questions about Evan Donaldson. Evan had allegedly been removed from the SASR. I initially presumed like RTUD, returned to unit. I didn't know Evan personally, but I reached out to him, gave him my email, phone number. Over the next few weeks, we exchanged emails and had several lengthy telephone conversations. I had spoken to my brother Brendan, who worked in UNHCR in New York, about Evan, and I was trying to help Evan get a job in the UN. During our conversations, Evan discussed with me some classified information regarding the SASR. Things like when 1SQN was in Baghdad after fall of Saddam Hussein, finding the gold, millions in US. Jokingly wanted to keep it but were honest and handed it in. A few days later, they stopped a car going to the airport with millions of dollars in cash. And about the 1CD where the children died because of a grenade used to kill a machine gunner in a building. There were other stories I can't recall, but I remember Evan talking about a specific person in the SAS that he had a gripe with. A tall, older man, superior. In our conversations, Evan never mentioned anything about alleged sexual assaults, bullying, harassment, or mistreated. Only that he had a compassionate posting to Wanidu, because he wanted to be closer to his wife, Phoebe, that was studying to be a doctor, or was a doctor in Sydney. Evan just said that when he returned to Campbell Backs, someone had changed his can back to 343 Rifleman, I'm not sure of SASR CT-NEN, and he was refused entry. After this, except for reading occasionally Facebook posts, I had no contact with Evan. 3. Over the years, I had followed the news, media, BRS being awarded the Victoria Cross, Chris Masters' book, Flawed Hero, Truth, Lies, and War Crimes. the defamation lawsuit against Chris Masters and Nick McKenzie. Over the years, I was aggravated why the media, Department of Defense, was perusing something that did or did not happen in the fog of war by a professional soldier, rather than investigating murder, war crimes by Australian private military contractors. For example, United Recourses Group, the Armenian Women Incident 2007, AFE. Evan Donaldson was a whistleblower protection. Evan, with the support of Jackie Lambie in Parliament. Allegations that he was sexually assaulted in training with the SASR and that his documents had been altered. Evan went to the ABC. He was talking to Nick McKenzie and Chris Masters. Feb 2, 2016, SAS trooper Evan Donaldson claims he was sexually assaulted during training. This would have been around the same time, 2 months after I initiated contact with Evan. Not once in our conversations did Evan ever mention to me anything regarding a sexual assault. I was still in contact with my brother Brendan, trying to get Evan a job in UNHCR. Evan's brother Andrew, also from SASR, has attempted committing suicide, and this greatly affected Evan. Evan would have been speaking with the ABC, and in his agitation, grievance against his mistreatment and his brother's Andrew attempted suicide, Evan would have disclosed classified information that was twisted by Chinese whispers, misinformation on factual events that became the basis of Chris Masters' book, where Nick McKenzie was the investigator journalist. Because of social media, primarily Facebook and Twitter, there was so much speculation and varying points of view. On one particular secret Facebook group, Rare Buddies. RAR Buddies is a secret Facebook page where you have to positively vouch for to gain access. It is only for ex and current RAR, SASR, and CDO. It is primarily for mateship, humor, and for grunts to talk about post anything. I'm not sure exactly when, but around 2012 it was started. I was a member of this page until late 2017. I'm not sure if Evan was on this page, but there was discussion about him. Also, other SAS whistleblowers may have been talking on this page. Again, the basis of Chinese whispers. When I made the connection regarding Evan Donaldson, the ABC, Nick McKenzie I phoned, then messaged Nick McKenzie with my allegations. Everything is connected and not by coincidence. Ben, Robert Smith, Dane Simmons, and Evan Donaldson all served in 3RAR during the same period. They all know each other. Ben, Robert Smith, and Evan Donaldson in the SASR same years. Dane Simmons and Evan Donaldson, both whistleblowers, went to the ABC. Both personally know Nick McKenzie. The only coincidence is that each person is known by me, and I have made the connection. I phoned Trevor at the ABC, initially explained everything. This is my follow-up email. This is extremely important information that should be investigated. In due course, the coming years, several ex-ADF persons may be unfairly tried for war crimes that have been innocent of any wrongdoing. I will attach a link to my Google Photos, all my corroborating evidence.